were. We were bleeding upset. So.
All right.
Record on this computer. And good evening, everyone. It's Eagles Chat. We are live on Facebook, as we always are, and recorded, and the replay will be on YouTube within the hour of us finishing the show. From his sunny climate of Sheffield, it's Mr. Mark Webster. Good evening, fella.
Good evening, Dean. How are you?
Not too bad, not too bad. Just getting ready for my trip up to Sheffield tomorrow morning.
Yes.
And using my best discount ever of getting from Doncaster to Sheffield for £2. So I can't believe I pulled it. I can't believe train ticket £2, Doncaster to Sheffield.
Yeah. You book a specific one in advance, you get it nice and cheap. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I just brought down the thing. I think it's cost me £26 to get back from Sheffield to Huntingdon on Sunday, and it's about 22 from Peterborough to Sheffield. So, but all good. How you been anyway?
All right. Not as you know, I was unwell last week, and I'm not great this week either. Combination of hay fever, and I think last week I may have had a run-in with the coronavirus. So not sure. I don't know actually, because I did test and it said no. I did 2 tests last week when I felt rough, and they said no. So I thought, it's just a bit of hay fever. But I've been a bit lethargic. I were all right down in London. Saturday were fine. Sunday I felt a bit off. But I was ready to come home Monday. I got an earlier train home because I was feeling a bit off and yeah. But I'm sure London. We'll get to that. But how are things? How are things for the charity event coming, Dino?
Everything's packed up. Everything. Been given. Got to say it now. If anybody is interested, I've been donated 2 tickets to the Summer Bash on the 30th and 31st. It's 2 tickets for both days for all the games and everything. I've been donated to them. So if anybody wants to come along and have a bid on them or anything like that, follow Soccer and Spandex on Facebook, because that is where we're doing the auctions and everything. And if anybody fancies coming along on Saturday, we've got all the wrestlers from Britain's wrestlers and WWE. Might even have WWE wrestler Mojo Rawley, because he's just been we've just been tweeting. So that's
where's it being held this year, Dino?
It's been at Olive Grove Sports Ground on Healy Bank Road. And then what it is, we're doing that bit during the day, and then at night we've got a wrestling event as well. So it's a whole day of activities and everything planned. I can't wait. It's the first one in 3 years, and I can't believe it. I'm back in the groove of it because I'm wearing my wristbands again, and that's the official one for this year. It's the pink and black one. So we've got that done for this year. No, and if anybody's interested, come along. You're more than welcome and say hi. And I won't be wearing Sheffield Eagles stuff. I'm sorry, but I will not be wearing it. I could change. I'm not even wearing an Eagles shirt tomorrow night when I go to the game. I'm wearing my England community shirt with all the names and everything the club's on it. So that'll be different. But anyway, let's get back to the Eagles. Since we last done, we went to, it was London at the weekend. I wish we could stop that game after 40 minutes. The people I met on Sunday was amazing. The whole thing, meeting Andrew, James, you, the whole gang was just fantastic. It was a wonderful, wonderful day. It's just the fact that the results spelt it.
Well, I think somebody took best on Monday when he said it were a brilliant weekend spoiled by 40 minutes of rugby. Because the first 40 minutes were absolutely sensational. And then it happened. And then it happened, didn't it?
The biggest explosion of a team in rugby league history, because nobody has been so far ahead and still lost.
Is it the world record?
Well, according to London Broncos, it is. And according to RFL, it is.
I know it's the biggest of the professional summer era. I mean, obviously, we can't speak for amateur teams and pub teams and National League and whatever, but it's certainly the worst I've ever seen as an Eagles fan. I can't think of anything that comes even close to it. The only one I know
we've done one
was I know we played Workington at home in the promotion season, and we were well ahead. I forget the scoreline, Senior will probably remember, but we lost 44-46. We were miles in front for a long time, but I can't think of anything that comes even close to the manner of this.
I couldn't believe the explosion on social media. That's what did me. The amount of people that wasn't there and all of a sudden had an opinion on the game and saying, oh, blah, 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 blah. If you went, and if I'm speaking out of turn, I'm sorry, but the people that was there, we saw it. We saw it and everything like that. And we remember, and yet the people that don't go and people that don't, I'm going on to the people that you never see it again. They hide behind the computers, they hide behind the phones, and they've never been at a game ever. And they were the ones that were having a go at Mark and the team and everything like that. Why? If you don't go to games, what gives you the right to criticize the lads that played on Sunday? Nobody will be hurting more than them. Nobody. We saw what Joel Fowler's reaction was at the end of it. He was heartbroken.
He did look a very broken man. I mean, I'm not going to get into the whole backing other fans and say you're not entitled to an opinion. You're entitled to an opinion, but obviously it's a little bit different if you've been at the game to then it isn't, you know, if you're not seeing the highlights yet or whatever. It's all a little bit different. What I will say, though, is that I'd just like to praise the general behaviour of the Eagles fans after such a thing. You know, 99% of us took it with some modestly of good grace, and I'd just like to also note the players for coming over at the end, for having the brass to come over and thank us at the end for the support. I did, as I've said on other medias, I did applaud back. That was purely for the gratuity of them appreciating us rather than how they played, which was embarrassing. We've all got opinions, but we've got to be grown up about how we do this, because we don't want to descend into the realms of your Lee and your Dewsbury fans. We all know what they're like. You know, they wake up in the morning, I'm going to get out my caps lock. Well, we're not like that. We're more grown up than that. Let's keep it there. I mean, let's face facts. The players are going to be mortified, or I think they were, by what happened. They should be embarrassed and ashamed, rightly so. And it's all now about how we respond to this, because this needs to be a low point. This needs to be the low point of the season. It needs to only go up from here. I mean, we must mention the first half. How good were we? I thought we were outstanding. We were in full control of the game. We were playing good, solid. You know, we were playing solid rugby. London were really struggling. You know, very little attack, making mistakes. I think they may have had 2 or 3 sets on our line from our errors, which you make, and they didn't get over. And coming into half time, we looked unbeatable. It looked like we were going to go on, score 40, 50. There were always going to be a spell. London came back into the game. That's how games are. But it was looking like a 52, 58 points to 12 win at half time.
Yeah. And the only reason we got 28 is because Isaac got injured. So we didn't have a kicker. So Isaac got injured and he didn't have a kicker, did he?
Well, we scored 6 tries and kicked 2 goals. Now, you can argue, oh, that's what cost the game in the end. No, it didn't. What cost the game was the bad performance. The facts are, we lost Isaac. And Isaac, if you're watching, if anybody's watching, we wish you well, mate.
Yeah, well spelled, mate.
It didn't look great. I'm not going to lie. We saw it. And I actually got it on video, because I was filming at the time, so I've seen it back, and it didn't look great. He looked in a lot of pain at the start, but I understand at the end of the game, I spoke to one of the staff. He's on crutches and he was putting weight on it, so it hopefully isn't as bad as it first feared. I don't know if it's a season ender. Hopefully not. But obviously, we wish as we always wish our injured players, you know, be back soon, please. We want to.
Can't blame us on that one.
Yeah,
can't blame us for the injuries that happened Sunday. Can't blame us. No.
But the thing about that is, obviously, when Isaac did go off, you know, Tom came on and slotted in nicely, and the performance continued. So he looked to have got the situation handled. It was when QLT went off at half time, we seemed to lose all the shape and plan. Yeah. Now, I understand Q was injured. I understand he was carrying an injury, and obviously the decision to take him off was right, because you're 28-0 ahead, playing well. Why risk your player in a situation like that? Because the game should be home and hosed. And then it wasn't, of course. But I think I didn't give London enough credit on my post, because looking back at the game, they absolutely nullified all our threats. I know it looked like Connor scored on the right side. We were watching that. It looked good, but, you know, referees. There was one over on the left where Ben Jones-Bishop got up, took a high ball, seemed to score it, but they gave a knock on again.
Yeah.
Only saw it live. Haven't seen it since. It's not on the highlights. So there were. It's not like we didn't have his chances to get into the game and kill it off. You know, it's not like it was just a phone-in job. There were sparks. But even the London fans, the couple that I spoke to at the end of the game, even said, I have absolutely no idea where that came from, because I feel like I went to watch 2 games of rugby. There was one where we were brilliant and we won, and there was another game I watched later where we were garbage and lost. But then it's sort of like, no, that was the same game, just in 2 halves.
I just think, afterwards, we were saying it afterwards. We were saying, of all the trips to go to sit on a coach, they had trouble getting into the ground. I don't know when they were saying that they had trouble with the bus getting into before the kickoff. They had trouble getting in, something like that.
I was told, and again, I don't know if this is correct because this is only third-hand information. I was told that the bus had a breakdown or a delay on the way, and they had to get a replacement bus. And obviously, you got to transfer all your clobber. It makes you later. You don't get there as early as you like. I appreciate that. Yeah, I don't know how accurate that is. I understand there was a delay of some kind. What I would say is that way that we played in the first 40 minutes, it didn't seem to bother us at all.
No. That's the thing. It was just amazing rugby to watch. It was like, what the hell? It was fantastic. They were fantastic.
It was one of the most complete halves of rugby league I've seen us play in a very long time. Yeah. Definitely for me. We might have played better in the Cumbria away games I weren't at. But, Senior and were saying that he went to Whitehaven. Or was it Workington, sorry. And the general performance in those games was excellent. But as a 40-minute stanza, it's the best it's been all season, which makes what happened even more staggering and alarming, Deano, to be honest. To go from that to that, it's going to take some getting over. It's a shell shock.
Mark Hannigan says that's correct, Mark. He says that's correct what you've said about the bus and everything like that.
Oh, well, okay, fair enough. So obviously, not ideal, but we dealt with it. We thought we dealt with it, should I say. We thought we dealt with it.
Can we just say, how easy was it to get to Ebbsfleet? Broncos, please move there.
Dead easy.
Don't do Wimbledon. That's amazing ground.
I was saying for the weeks leading up to it, Deano, it's dead easy to get to. We went to St Pancras. I was staying nearby St Pancras anyway. Went to St Pancras, got your ticket for the Southeastern. It's one of those mentally long shuttle trains that goes really fast. It's not like a Northern Rail Piddly to Barnsley. Not like the bloody paces that we get. Granted, it was a bit of a spend. It was a tenner each way on the train. But I think if you'd have used public transport to get to Wimbledon, your tube and your overground, it would have been about the same money anyway.
Yeah.
Literally, get on at St Pancras. 20 minutes later, you're at Ebbsfleet International. Go downstairs, walk out the left, through the car park, over the island, and you're there. Done.
Can I just say, that was the best burger I've ever had at any ground in my life.
Oh, the Strand was sensational. Yeah.
The beer, the refreshments, the thing. Some people would say, "Oh, beer were warmer than the day," and I'm like, "Which beer were you having? I weren't having that. It was fantastic."
In fairness, your beer does get warm if you stand outside on a warm day. So, my simple answer to that is drink it quicker. It was Brewdog, so it was a nice pint. The food was excellent. London fans we spoke to were very welcoming, as they are. They tend to be a nice bunch.
Even that pub where we went to, Oh,
the Queen Vic before the game. Yeah. Slumming it with the Millwall fans. Yeah.
Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. It was one of the best things. I'm just like, we all went in. The one that did me, I know this is going off subject. We were stood outside and that bloke went, you shouldn't be drinking out here without glass. And there's 5 lads that stood next to us and I went, and he didn't say a word. He just went, oh. But I went, whatever. So, I've got to admit, that day was great. I've injured my knee and I don't know how. I can't. I've got a knee support. I've got knee support on my right knee. I'm in agony with it, and I'm like, how the hell have I done that?
You clumsy apeth.
Yeah, and that pint of coke I had in London messed me up bad. I was in a right state when I got home. I couldn't even walk.
After a pint of coke?
That coke was dodgy as hell. I'll say it to this day. My wife laughs her head off at me, but I couldn't walk when I was getting in my house. It was in a right state.
What, the one in the flyer?
Yeah. That one we had when I was just coming back home.
Oh, that's a weird one. Man, geez.
She says it was. She said, "Oh, it must have been the other 6 pints you had," and I went, "Nope, it was that coke. It was the coke that did it."
Well, stick to beer. Now
Yeah.
we've got to find a way to turn the situation positive, and how I do that is by saying this: big performance owed to everyone tomorrow night by the boys. They will be smarting, they will be hurting, and tomorrow we've only got to wait Sunday till Friday. You know, the boys are going to be absolutely steaming up. I mean, I don't know what went on after the game. We'll talk about Tubby in a moment, but performance is owed to everybody, not just us, the fans, not just the staff, but to themselves, to show that they can still do it. And we know they can. You don't become a bad team overnight. And
Corey's back.
Team. Yeah.
Tubby 2's back.
Tubby 2.
Corey.
Sorry. Yeah.
Tubby 2.
Sorry, Corey. Well, Corey's obviously with Isaac injured, you think Corey's going to be playing a more active role, don't you? You know, we've still got
Thaxton Aston in halves.
Thaxton Aston in the halves, yeah. Obviously, we'll have Tom on the bench, I assume, and Beer at hooker still.
There'll be nobody to say they'll come out firing, lads. They will. They'll come out firing and everything. So I'm going to be there. I can't wait. It's nice to be back in Sheffield again. So that will be the third game I've been to, and with Summer Bash, that's 4. And that's awesome for me. And I'm going to plan other things with August and September. But I'm loving it this year. I'm loving it. The fact that I can actually see Eagles for once. Well, a few times actually.
Well, the more the merrier. We should just give a nod to Tubby, who gave what I thought was an extremely dignified post-match interview. I'm quite sure that he will have in the dressing room after the game. I'm sure there will have been terse words said, and as we know, Tubby likes to use every page of the dictionary, should we say? And I'm sure it was very colourful. But kudos for coming out virtually straight away and saying, you know, what you thought.
Yeah.
And a nod to obviously us lot that went down there. That's always, you know, it's always appreciated that the club acknowledge it. But yeah, I think we've got to look at tomorrow and think. Obviously, it's going to be tough. Batley are red hot at the moment. They've just turned Feb away over, for crying out loud. So we've got to look at that. But this is the chance to show where we are. This is the chance to prove that we are there. Big game and big performance needed. And
then at Summer Bash, that's the revenge one. That is revenge.
We've got to look at the Summer Bash and think that we are smarting, and this is going to be the payback, because I refuse to believe that London become world beaters overnight. I mean, that first half, they were garbage.
But look at the good side. Dewsbury. Yeah.
Oh, thank you for blowing that spot, which I was getting to.
Sorry.
By virtue of losing to London, we've now put Dewsbury in an absolute world of trouble.
Oh.
Absolute world of trouble. They now need 2 more wins than London, and the way they're going, I don't see them getting them, because London look to be improving, whereas Dewsbury looks to be getting worse.
Sorry, mate. Sorry, I've moved your big moment.
I mentioned that. Yeah. I put that as one of the positives on my little speech, and it is a positive because obviously, and we've said previously on this show, we'd prefer London to stay up and Dewsbury to go, wouldn't we?
Yeah. Michael White says, hopefully a big performance Friday, and good luck, Dean, with your charity day Saturday. Oh, thank you very much. That's really nice. Thank you very much for that. Yeah. I think tomorrow night we'll see the lads. We'll see the reaction, because Tubby will put it in them and saying, look, this is, you can't change past, you can just change what happens on that pitch. And they'll be determined to do it, because it's the first one with 1,300, potential 1,300 fans there. We've got Batley coming down, if they do, but they might come in numbers, really.
They'll bring a few, you know.
They'll bring a few. Yeah. They'll bring a few, like they always do. And so we've got 1,300 there. That's 1,300 potential customers. So it's at home, so I can't wait. It's gonna be a cracking night, and the performance I believe the performance will happen.
Yeah, because I hope so.
They will be. I looked at their faces. We were stood next to each other at the end, and I was looking at them players' faces, and I saw Thax, Joel, all the players' faces, and you could see it. It was like, what the hell's just happened? They were shell-shocked. So they're going to use that, and to quote a line from the Waterboy, tackling fuel. They're going to tackling fuel, and they're going to use that, and maybe on some bigger things.
Well, as the song went, as the song in the 80s went, the only way is up.
Cool.
For me, again, this has to be where the season bottoms out, and we have to go up from here. We've got to look at the fixtures coming up, and these I mean, obviously last week was winnable and we made a pig's ear of it, but in all honesty, winnable fixtures are ahead. We've got to think about this. I mean, we're not in any danger of relegation,
but I think we could crack.
The fact is, we need to stop the bleeding, and we need to. I'll say it again. The performance comes tomorrow night.
Yeah, it will. It will. We got faith in you, lads. We've got faith in you.
Absolutely. And that first half showed that we're not a bad team. We're a good team.
If you wear this badge, you're special. You're part of us. You're part of Sheffield Eagles. If you wear this badge, you're gods. And I've always said that because you guys, you sacrifice your lives, you work a job, you do training at your night and everything, and then you're expected to do rugby league at the weekends. You guys are amazing because of what you do in your lives and everything. It's fantastic. So tomorrow night, you'll be all right, boys. I've got faith in you. Always will be. Talking of tomorrow, there was a post on today about a program that's going to cover the next three home games.
Ingenious idea. Yes.
It's saves the planet, less paper.
Well, we've got Batley,
Whitehaven,
and was it Whitehaven or
is it
Workington?
Workington? It's one of them anyway.
So we've got 3 home games in July, and the club are trying an idea where we do a program like a bumper issue to cover all 3 games.
They used to do it. We did it in the 80s. They used to do it with when you had 2 home programs, 2 home games together, something like that. They used to do it together, and they did it in the 90s with World Club Challenge. They had 1 program for both games.
Yeah, and we had that time a few years back where the league actually produced a magazine each week for all the teams, but it wasn't specifically for your team. It was a bit of everything.
Yeah, Super League one.
Yeah, which was a bit of a garbage idea, really. But yeah, it's going to be a bumper program to cover all 3 games. It's going to be a $5.
Yeah,
obviously
prices might be a bit much, but end of the day, it's going to cover 3 games, so you've got it there. So what I mean.
Is it $2.50 normally? Is it $2.50 a game normally?
Do you know? I didn't buy one at Widnes. I didn't buy a program.
I believe it's $2.50. So
it's $2.50 a 3.
$2.50 per game, right? So you've got 3 games for the price of 2. So you're actually getting a better deal. Less paper, obviously better for the environment. Obviously, it's going to save the club some money. I think it's a great idea. I think it's a really, really good idea.
Yeah, I think it's a different way of looking at things. I mean, do it exactly what you need to be and go from there. But I think it's cover three programs. Great stuff. It's £3 normally. Mark Hanningham's just told me £3 normally.
Yeah. So even then, so you're still even if you buy 1 program for 3 games at a £5, it'd normally be £9.
So you get
you're a pint up on the deal. So that money you would have spent on your other 2 programs, go to the bar and get yourself a drink.
Yeah, don't mention pints.
Come on, mate, get over it. Come on.
Oh yeah. All right. Sorry, I've got
to. Mate. Excuse me. Oh dear.
This getting over COVID's doing my nutting now. Anyway, and I was before anybody asked.
If it were the COVID, it's not been a lot of fun. And the missus had COVID as well when I got back on Monday. So might have been, I don't know, but I didn't manage to return a positive test. I failed the test, as I always seem to do in my life. But
I did as well. I mean, I was negative before I went out anyway, so I know that. So nobody was going to blame me if they got it. As we look forward to tomorrow night, there's also a thing like, I mean, this is a request. Sheffield Eagles are requiring you. If you're interested in being a volunteer on match days, because now we're getting bumper crowds. So bumper crowds means more stewards and more volunteers to help out on match days. If anybody's interested in helping out the club on match days, please get in contact with the club and sure everything will be sorted out for you as soon as possible. But please, come along. If you've got a spare 20 minutes or a spare an hour and before match days, come on along, help the Eagles. I think at one stage I did every job possible on volunteer match days. I did everything. Oh, crazy times, but funny. 1 minute I was selling programs, next minute I was on the pitch putting the advertising boards out. That is a true story. Because somebody told us that the sponsors was wrong. So me and this other lad had to grab this cart at the Don Valley Stadium and the advertising boards and pull them out of there. And 20 minutes before kickoff, put this brand new sponsor underneath behind the post and was like, and then I went, I've still got to sell programs. Oh, no, you don't have to do that today. Oh, thank you very much. But volunteering is great. You have so many wonderful stories and everything. So please get in contact with the club, offer your services. It would be very much better. And tell them the Eagles chat sent you. We also seen, I mean, everybody's had an opinion with this year. I mean, I've seen the page this week. It's absolutely been unbelievable. And then also we saw the announcement of Eagles wanting the Hall of Fame, and nominations are out there. I've wrote my email. I've wrote for about 200-300 words. I've got to send it. I've wrote it out so I know I don't make any spelling mistakes because this is important. And I think everybody knows who I'm nominating.
Yeah, I think I'm going to nominate the same person, and I am going to write the email, but I've got a busy few weeks coming up. What's in this Sunday? But I will be writing it before the end of the month, and I can think of no one more deserving.
Let's look at the facts. Without mentioning his name, he's one of the few people.
We're going to give it away, Deano, aren't we? With what we're going to say, we're going to give it away.
We're going to give it away, but we'll not say his name. We'll let people use their own initiative. This gentleman is one of the few fans that went to Bridgend in the first season and saw the Eagles lose to Bridgend Blue Dragons. He's also one of the fans that's been there since the very beginning. He's been there, rain, shine. He's the biggest supporter of sports. You always see him at an event or a football ground or a rugby ground at a weekend, supporting them, no matter what. He loves the sport. He loves the Eagles with his heart and his soul. We did that bit on Sunday. Oh, look. When we were on the train, and we saw him outside, and we went, "Oh, look who's there!" Going across the car park. I was in two. We were all laughing our heads off at that. But if anybody deserves it more, I'd love to find one. The guy bleeds Eagles. He's an absolute bona fide. It's an embarrassment to call him a super fan because there's too many people get called super fans. This guy is beyond a super fan. There's nobody to touch him. There's no one, Sheffield Eagles. We've got our own Superman in my case. He's amazing.
And when you consider, I mean, obviously, I know this person very well from lifts and stuff when I had more time. But it's not just obviously us. It's he just loves rugby league in general. Supported Hull before. He actually supported Hull FC before the Eagles existed. There's a bit of trivia for you all. I mean, given obviously the limitations in his life, let's say, how to get around, and I didn't know until I was there. But he went to Canada. You know, for those of us who went to Canada, he was there. That's a trip to make. All by train or by lift. You know, he's always there. He's always posting on Facebook where he is, and it's great to see him so active. I mean, Martin, the person, the person in question, obviously spent a long time in hospital during COVID. And I'm sure there were times I spoke to him a few times on the phone, and I'm sure there were times he didn't know if he'd be able to go and watch rugby again. And as soon as we called, he were there and shouting it from the rooftops and everything. So it's wonderful. It's wonderful. And yes, I think this person. But this is the beauty of the Hall of Fame with us. It doesn't have to be players. It can be anyone, staff, fans.
It's anybody that's made a good contribution to the Sheffield Eagles.
Now, apparently the rule is, I didn't realise this until afterwards, but if it's going to be a player, they need to have been not playing for us for 3 years. So
Menzies out.
All those people that are shouting for Menzies, I completely and categorically agree, but he doesn't qualify this time under that rule. So hold your horses. But yes, excuse me. I think this person that I nearly mentioned, and I didn't mention them, would be a worthy addition to recognition from the club in the Hall of Fame.
Absolutely. I think everybody's been asking me, well, if I had to pick one player,
right? Okay,
that I know in my time. I mean, I do 80s, 90s, all that. If I had to pick somebody from that eras and stuff like that, who would I put in?
Right. Now, can this person still be actively playing, or have they got to have retired altogether, or just having left us 3 years ago? What's the rule?
They can't. I mean, if there's anybody from the 90s, then they definitely won't be playing now. 80s
Well,
and 90s,
obviously.
they definitely won't be playing now.
Because obviously you can mention your Missy Talapapa, who's been done with us for a while. If I had to pick a player, I mean, let's think. You could argue any of that championship team 2013. I mean, Jack Howison's already in, isn't he?
Mitch Stringer.
Mitch Stringer.
Mitch Stringer.
The shout.
Scott Turner.
Scott Turner's a great shout. You know, I don't know how I'd take it. Is the lad. For me, if you wanted me to go old school and a bit of recognition for the founding days of the reformed team, Andy Pointer's a great shout for me.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
Brilliant fullback. I mean, we've been blessed with brilliant fullbacks over the years, but Andy Pointer was probably the first one I remember from my time watching the club after the unpleasantness. And he was like the first superstar fullback we had, and he was brilliant. So I would have Andy Pointer. Johnny Woodcock again is another good shout. Several good years, went up with us, and yeah, there's lots of choices here.
Right. There's two people off thing that their name here could be mentioned: Angela Gregory,
yeah,
Ian Annis,
uh-huh.
Brian Aston.
Oh, Brian, yeah,
Brian Aston, all them. Ian Swire, Whaley. What's his first name? Used to be chairman. John Whaley. You've got all them that stuck with the club through the hard days, and everything like that, and getting it reformed and everything like that, and the meetings and everything like that. If there's somebody off the pitch that deserves it, it'd be Ian Annis for his contribution to rugby league in Sheffield over the 25, 30 years that I knew was immense. There was nobody touching.
I tell you, I'd probably nominate, and they are still active at the club. They never played, but they're still active at the club. Mick Hayes, the physio.
Mick Hayes, yeah.
He's been here forever, and he's looked after everybody brilliantly.
Yeah.
Mick's one of those guys that will always talk to you. He's always been brilliant to me when we've spoke. So,
right.
Unsung hero.
Right. Forget the men. We've got to talk the women and the wheelchair people. The women are firing on all cylinders. And they're absolutely amazing.
Another fantastic win at the weekend. I mean, what can we say? It's, again, I sound like a broken record here, but to go from not having a women's team at all to assembling a team to training to playing games, they've lost one game all season. One game.
Yeah.
Which is a tremendous achievement. We need to get, obviously, I think they're playing before the first team again sometime soon. Oh, good Lord, what's this?
That is the team of the Sheffield Eagles women from the early 90s. And that lady, hold on.
Anybody there I still know?
That lady there where my finger is, her name is Stacey Rollinson. She is a current wheelchair player of Sheffield Eagles.
Okay.
And off that list is Vicky Brooks, who's also a current wheelchair player of rugby league. So there's a picture of her and all like that. But look, they're the old pictures of the women. That kit is fantastic. I love that kit.
Is it that purple kit?
No, it was a red one.
All right.
But I found all these pictures. They were great ones of all the ladies and everything like that. And there she is. There's Stacey in all her glory running at other people. She was a cracker. But God bless her, Stacey. I'm not out to embarrass you. We'll save these for when we've got the women on the 19th. But we've definitely got some great pictures there. There's even one of the first Hillsborough Hawks side of 92-93 season. I'm not showing it because it's got Ralph Rimmer on it.
Just put your thumb over his. Actually, no.
Yeah, because
put your entire hand over his head. Yeah,
Ralph Rimmer was the coach in them days.
So yeah, women, wonderful to see what you're doing. If you can, get yourselves down to watch. Yeah, get yourselves down to watch.
Yeah, Mosboro's becoming the central for all rugby league at the moment because we've got the women. What else we got down at Mosborough?
Well, we've got the Hillsborough Hawks. I'm still calling them Hillsborough, despite what it says. Hillsborough Hawks against Sheffield Forgers this weekend. Taking place as well, which I'm quite annoyed I'm going to be missing because I would have gone to that, but I'm out of town this weekend. But it's great to have it's great to actually have a Sheffield derby in rugby league because for a very long time we didn't have that. Yeah. It wouldn't unless the Eagles played the Hawks for some reason, which has happened in the past, as we know.
I think the earliest case
to have it.
The earliest case of a derby in Sheffield was Sheffield Kimberworth, or Sheffield Warncliffe, as it was known, taking on Hillsborough Hawks in a friendly. And that was the only one I remember. And that was 94, 95, 96, something like that. I remember I played in the match. It was a Jed Morrow testimonial trophy in 99. I played in that. But that's the one where we had two teams and everything.
For many years, the nearest thing we had to a derby was like Hillsborough Hawks against Hoyland Vikings, which were great
or Dodworth,
games.
or Rotherham, yeah.
We've been a touch digit one of them once.
We've also got to mention on the 9th in Doncaster, if anybody's interested, Masters Rugby League have got a festival on. So if anybody wants to pop along to Doncaster Toll Bar and everything and get involved with the Masters, they're having a festival there. So everybody, good. I'm just plugging it because Sheffield Hawks are forming a Masters team. I cannot wait. I've got my boots this weekend. I found my boots and everything, so I can't wait.
I reserve judgment on whether I'm going to bother about that.
Oh, I can't wait. I really can't. It'd be fantastic.
Well, I'm not going to be funny. I'm not being funny to you. I couldn't play properly 15 years ago, so why I think I'd be any better on the verge of 40 is beyond anyone.
Well, I've played a few games of it, so I love it. I think it's great. Is
it full contact?
It just depends on the colour of your shorts. The older you are, the different colour your shorts. The younger you are, the more contact you have in the game. So it's like if you get to that over 50 or over 60, it's only touch, or then it's grab, or you just put your shoulders in and grab them, and then all this full contact with tackles. So it depends on the age as you get older.
Yeah.
So that's the way I look at it. We now play with a guy that was 66. So, and there's guys there that's over 70 and over 80 years old, and they're playing.
Great to see. That's great to see people are still going. There's a fella that plays touch. We are going to play touch after this, and Steve Baggins. Well, we call him Baggins, but Steve Pearce, who we know, I think he can't be far off 60, and he runs around with all us younger folk, and I think that should be commended immensely. So yeah, for those who Dino just mentioned, then on the 19th, we've got Molly Haglington from the ladies team who very kindly has agreed to come and join us. We had a chat in the library after the last home game, spoke brilliantly, and we're really excited to talk to her about what greatness the women's team are achieving this season, and where we go from here. I believe there is a promotion possible at the end of the season, all being well. Move up a league, and I think that's going to be fantastic. And for me, more games before first team games at OLP will only benefit everyone.
We need a triple header. We need a triple header. We need every Eagles team playing at OLP on one day. We need the wheelchairs. We need the learning disabilities team. We need the women, and we need the first team. What a day that would be.
We should also mention the learning disability team are actually taking part in their first festival this weekend.
Yeah.
Before it's the Magic Weekend, isn't it?
Yeah.
Before the Magic Weekend, I'm not entirely sure what the event is, and I was told about it recently. We're not sure, but they're taking part in events against other LD teams, and this is the first thing they're going to have done, and it's absolutely fantastic to see. And I wish all of you, I mean, they train on Tuesday nights at OLP before the first team. We wish you every success and enjoy it. Just go out there, everyone, and enjoy it. And wear that shirt with the biggest pride, and I know a lot of them will. A lot of them will be wearing that shirt and beaming. I believe that they're going to borrow the ladies' kit, so they're actually all going to be So they're all going to be wearing the actual Eagles kit, which is going to be wonderful for them.
I think this weekend everything will be great. No matter what it is. There's so many Sheffield Eagles teams playing. It is wonderful to see. It is an absolute stake. It's a credit to Andrea Dobson. She's done an amazing job. What she's done with the development in a year is outstanding. She's done a wonderful job and everything like that. Though Courtney says, I think Mum mentioned that they've got a festival next Sunday before the game at the OLP next week.
Oh, that'd be good. That's good. Yeah.
So there we go.
More and more things. They are doing more and more things pre-Eagles games as well.
Yeah.
I think it's just they go on the pitch and they play a little bit, so you can all go and have a look at what they're doing. I believe this Sunday is an actual organised event, and they are also doing it at the Summer Bash weekend as well, I've been told. Both days.
Yeah. Talking of Summer Bash. No, we've already done it. No, I've already done it. I'm not doing it twice in one episode. No chance.
Have we spoken about the kit?
Oh no. The launch of that green kit
I take no credit for this. When we had Tubby on the show, and I said, "Have we got a third kit coming for the summer bash?" and he was non-committal. So we did. We did have a kit coming. Yeah, I mean, views. There are some people that don't like it, and I personally do. I think it's all right. It's a nice change. Green. We've always seemed to have done well in green. If you look at when we've had green kits, we've generally done well those particular years, like 2013, of course. We had green away kits in the early 2000s when we were building. So, did we have any green away kits in the 80s and 90s?
90s we did. We had a famous eagle going across the chest with Heineken 94, 95.
Oh, yes.
93, 94. 93, 94. No, it
Green
weren't.
and black, wasn't it? Green and black.
Green and black, yeah.
Yeah, I have seen it. I've seen pictures of it. Obviously, I don't have one, but
yeah, I did, and I gave it away for charity. What an idiot! What an idiot! I just can't believe it. It was a players one as well. But
so what I understand is gonna happen with the green kit is it's not going to be sold as a merchandise item. I believe at the end of the season the shirts are going to be sold as part of a package. You're going to get a number of things. Tickets to the end of season, thank you with your player and all that jazz. I've already stated I want one. I'm sure you've already stated you want one, and I'm not going to even start to imagine which player you're going to request.
I'm going to go. No. I am not going for Super Joel. No. I'm going for somebody better than that. Number 27, QLT. That's who I want. I want QLT's jersey. And if
I don't know how they're going to do it.
And if there's 30 of them, I'm taking that much money. I'm hoping to buy 2 or 3.
Well, they said, I think it's going to be something like what they did the other year with the third kit that we only got to wear once, where they sold them all off as a package, and you get, like, as well as the shirt, you got
2 tickets to the end of the season, too.
2 tickets for whatever, you get various
£100 it were, yeah.
Yeah, and that's fine. That's fine for what it is. And put me down for that. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. But if it's auctions, fair enough, get in there. I'll bid all my life away. I'll bid everything like that. I think the record I've ever known a Sheffield Eagles shirt being sold for at the end of season was Darryl Powell's in '94. It went for £320. That was '94. So, and I bid quite high that year because everybody was like, Dino's going for it. And then when it went above £200, I said, no, I can't do it. Darryl looked at me as if to say,
we've all got us limits.
Yeah, Darryl just looked at me and went, if you wanted a shirt for £200, mate, all you got to do is ask.
I don't think it's going to be like that, because obviously a lot of people ain't got that money to spend, so we need to be realistic about it. I think what they did the other year, we being like, look, £100 and you get this. I think that'd be great, and I think they'll sell them all on that basis. If you start making bids up to like a couple of £100, then I don't think it's. I don't see.
If there's 30 on the night, there's only so much money people will take anyway. So if it's 30 on the night, then who knows? But yeah, I think they'll announce it and everything. I mean, as soon as it's announced on the Eagles on the Facebook page, I'll be there like a shot.
Yeah,
I'm not saying anything. Purple shirt.
Great, right, man.
Right, we'll get off. Enjoy yourselves. Everything. This has been a short version tonight. We're sorry about that. We'll see everybody tomorrow night against. Well, I'll see everybody because I don't think you're going, are you?
I regretfully am not. No. I am out of town this weekend on a completely. I'll tell you what I'm doing. I'm going to Legoland Windsor. Purely for Harry, and not in any way, shape, or form whatsoever for me.
Yeah, of course you are. Right. So I'll see everybody tomorrow night. Everybody say come along, say hi, and everything like that. I'll be glad to have a chat with you and everything. I will be buying a pie and a pint again as usual. More money goes to the club. I can't say that. I bet Batley complain. If I hear Batley complain once, I'm having them. I'm going crackers. Because they'll be like, look, it's not Foster's. Just because it's not Fox's biscuits. So, but anyway, mate, have a great weekend. I'll speak to you next week, pal. All right?
Yep. See you next week.
Have a great one. Take care, guys. Everybody, good night. God bless. Bye-bye.
Right.